right, here we go. And we're live. So, what is today? February 12th. The market's just closed. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm having way too much fun, as you can see, playing with my new camera equipment. Anyhow, wanted to make sure that you can hear me, that you can see me. If so, type in Y or yes, and let me know where you're from, where you're joining us from. And so the idea here is that we are spending probably the next 45 minutes together. And here's why. Because in 45 minutes, I have a hard stop. This is when I'm picking up the kids from school, and we are going to Florida to another regatta. Okay, but I wanted to spend, in order that I don't forget, I need to put myself a little countdown timer on there. What do you think about this? So again, we'll be chatting here for the next probably 45 minutes. Talk about the markets, talk about coronavirus, talk about Tesla, talk about anything that you want to talk about, because ultimately this is the show for you. So I want to make sure that I'm addressing your questions, answering your questions, whether it is about the PowerX optimizer or any stock positions that you're actually in, any market outlook, anything you want to know, this is what we want to talk about. So after having had fun here a little bit with my little toy, let us look at the markets. There we go. Here we are. Now we can take a look at the markets and see what is happening. And thanks again for joining. So today, markets made another new all-time high. What do you know? The Dow is up almost 1%. The Nasdaq is up 1%. So why? Why the heck are we making new all-time highs with everything that is going on? Well, the news for today is that the coronavirus seems to be contained. Is it true? Who knows? There's still new outbreaks, but it's not as rapidly as it used to be. And the coronavirus might have a severe impact on the global economy. We'll talk about this in just a moment. But also, Fed Chairman Powell had his comments over the past 2 days. And traders were very carefully monitoring if he is rocking the boat when it comes to interest rates, whether he's raising interest rates. But he basically said, nah, we're all good. We won't mess around with interest rates. And see, no news is good news, at least for this market that we are seeing here. So when you take a look at this, I mean, here you see the market. Let me just move something out of the way here. So you see the market since May. And pretty much since October, we have been straight shooting up. Yes, there was the coronavirus scare, but now we are going up. However, will the coronavirus have an effect on the global economy or not? Well, yesterday, let me just find here the symbol. Yesterday, Under Armour basically said that, well, you know what? We think that we will have 50 to 60 million less in sales because of the coronavirus, because factories are shut down. I mean, China is the manufacturing powerhouse of the world. They're responsible for 20% of the output. And as you can imagine, Under Armour, not Corona, Under Armour is heavily relying on Chinese manufacturing. And as you can see, this is where yesterday we went down 25%. Today, a little bit of a bounce back, but this is what we have been seeing. So what does it also mean for Apple? I mean, talked about it in the email. I don't know if you have seen it. Oops. AAPL. There we go. Right? I mean, Apple today seems to be up again on news that the coronavirus might be contained. But hey, who knows, right? So Foxconn, which is the main supplier for Apple products, they had to close a few factories. So it might be that we don't see the immediate effect of the coronavirus, but it might be in the next few weeks or even months. So right now, companies, as you know, are reporting. We have lots of earnings being reported right now, and everything looks good. But keep in mind, these earnings are from the last quarter, right? And the last quarter, of course, everything looked good. Think about it. I mean, for companies like Apple, for example, right, or Target that have been reporting earnings. Well, I mean, pretty much, I think 75% of the companies or 76% of the companies in the S&P 500 have been reporting earnings. And last quarter was Black Friday, right, Cyber Monday, and Christmas. So shop until you drop. So this, of course, helped boost revenue. So the fourth quarter is traditionally strong, especially for retail businesses. Also today we saw that crude oil bounced back. So today we are above 50 again. So crude oil today up 3.28% after it had its massive slide here. Noreen is asking, is it 2000 all over again? We'll see what happens as we go into the next quarter. Now, if you take a look at the Dow Jones, and let me just switch. Here's what I want to do. I need to move myself a little bit out of the way. I want to switch to a different view here. That might make it a little bit easier to see what's happening here. So let's actually take a look at the Dow Jones, and let's just zoom out a little bit and see what the Dow Jones has been doing. Actually, I want to go to weekly charts, because this gives you a pretty good idea what has been happening. So here you see the Dow Jones pretty much since the 80s, and you see that we have been going up until 2000, and this is Nareen, what you're talking about, right? And then in 2000 we moved down, then went back up, and then in 2008 we had the crash, went all the back up. In 2015 we had a little bit rocking the boat here, but ever since then it has been up away. Now, how long can this go on? Well, at some point a market has to come down again. I mean, these retraces, as you can see, that we have had over history, they're absolutely normal. And I don't think that what we saw last December is the retracement that we are really looking for. So I believe that it is possible that we see another market crash coming soon, especially if the Fed starts rocking the boat and raising interest. And at some point they have to do it. We can't keep the interest rates as low as they are right now. I know that this is what the president wants, and supposedly the Fed is independent of the president. Well, we know how that goes, right? Anyhow, so I wanted to make sure that we talk about what's going on in the markets right now as an overall, but then also take a look at a few individual stocks. So if you have any questions for me, now is a good time to just type them in, and I see that you found where you can type in the questions here, and we will take at a few stocks here. And also, I'll be happy to show you exactly what I personally do, how I approach the markets, and what stocks I'm looking for right now. Now, one of the stocks, while you're typing your questions, that you might or might not have, I mean, this is why we're chatting here, and I have my coffee in my favorite mug. Trade what you see, not what you think, right? There we go. Here it is. Okay, so I hope that you have your coffee, and just wanted to give you an outlook and also a little bit perspective of what's happening. Good, fantastic. Now, one of the stocks that right now pretty much everybody is talking about is Tesla, right? I mean, Tesla, and let me zoom out here a little bit so that we see what is going on here. So I just want to show you what happened over, let's say, the past year. So here we go. Tesla has been piddling around between 400 and 160, right? So as you know, last year, this is what was happening with Tesla, and then suddenly Tesla took off. And at some point, see, this is where many investors are coming in, and the fear of missing out, so-called FOMO, is kicking in. And this is when stocks go parabolic. Whenever a stock goes parabolic like this, meaning that it has an up move that just goes like this, it'll come crashing down again. You know, when I saw this a few days ago, so last week I was in Cancun with my mastermind students, so we traded live there together, and we were looking at this, and on the day that we made this high of almost 1,000, this is where I said, you know what, I'm very interested in putting on some put options. So we looked at some put options, and the put options that we looked on, you would have invested 7,500, and within a matter of 2 days could have doubled it almost to 14,000, 13,600, 13,800. Anyhow, you see, these parabolic moves, they usually cause a retracement. Let me show you a few more of these parabolic moves here. As an example, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, let me just move back in history here a little bit. And we can talk about Bitcoin here as well. So let me just show you. Look at this. Look at this here. Doesn't this look an awful lot like Tesla? I mean, you get the idea, right? Parabolic move, and then we're coming down here. Where else did we have this? For example, Beyond Meat. You remember Beyond Meat? The company that is the plant-based food, and it had its IPO, and everybody got super excited. Look at this. This is where it went parabolic. It went from $60 to $240 in a matter of 2 months. Quadrupled in price. Here's what happens after this. You get the idea, right? I mean, these parabolic moves are rarely sustainable. Another stock, Tilray. I mean, again, looking a little bit back, so here we have to go to, 2018. Look at this, Tilray, you get the idea, right? This stock had a parabolic move from $20 to $220. Parabolic move up, and what happens after a parabolic move up? Going down, right? So, and this is what I believe is right now happening in Tesla. So let me just reset. There was a button somewhere where I can easily reset it. Nah, it doesn't matter. We get the idea. There we go. Okay. So this is where Ken says, I'm looking at the Tesla April 500 put for $8.35, but the delta is only 0.7. Is that too low to be intelligent bet? So here's the problem. One of the challenges that we had with Tesla, so let's just take a look at this, right? If it moves up explosively, volatility is going crazy, and this is driving options premium up. Right now, since Tesla is calming down a little bit, right? So this is when it makes more sense of buying puts. Buying a put of 500 for $8.35. You see, honestly, I think it would be a safer bet if you go a little bit closer to a 700. And again, this right now, it's a bet, right? I mean, this is what I think can happen, but hey, trade what you see, not what you think. I have multiple accounts. I have my bread and butter account, which is the big account. I have a few accounts that I trade together with my students. And then I also have a get it out of my system account. This is a smaller account. There's probably around $20,000, $25,000 in there. And this is what I use for some crazy bets like this. So if you feel that Tesla is going down, you might want to look at an option that's a little bit closer, that can quickly get into the money, because I believe that this is where you might get the biggest bang for your buck. Otherwise, time decay could be a factor. So, good question though. Elect is asking, do you think Chinese stocks will be adversely affected like Baba or Baidu? Well, see, Baba is basically, that's Alibaba. It is their Amazon. It really depends. I yesterday heard that Amazon is stockpiling goods that are manufactured in China because they're expecting a disruption in the supply chain. So we will see how quickly the Chinese government is lifting the travel ban that is going on. And you know that in many areas of China right now, I mean, it's closed. You can't travel anywhere. So goods can't be exported. Goods can't be moved at this point. And we'll see how long this is going on. I mean, right now, there's no end in sight. Now, traders are all optimistic. That's why we make new all-time highs. So traders think, oh, coronavirus, that's already over, right? And no news is good news since we have no news coming out. I mean, the news that are coming out is that some cruise ships are affected. But you see, it's not really as much in the news as it was over the past week or the past 2 weeks, right? When we just heard there's an epidemic outbreak and we don't know how to contain it yet. It seems that it is slowing down. By the way, it's quite interesting. How many people have died from the coronavirus right now? I think the death toll is up to 1,000, 1,300. maybe 1,500. I haven't been really keeping up about it. And I mean, not really to minimize this, but if you think about it, every year, 10,000 people are dying in the United States just from the flu. So, I mean, of course, it's a tragedy that we already have 1,500 deaths and that we have so many people infected with the virus. But just to put it a little bit in perspective here, more people are dying from the flu every year in the United States than what is going on here right now. Anyhow, TA, it's a good point. The death toll only counts those in hospital, so we don't know the real number. So we don't know how. And again, don't get me wrong, I don't want to minimize it, but when you look at traders, right, and traders are saying, oh, everything will be fine. This is why we're making new all-time high. And again, since Powell didn't seem to be too concerned, the Fed chairman, about what's going on here, that's why we make new highs. See also here, I mean, Alibaba has earnings today, seems to go up. Here's one of the things that I like to do. As you know, I like to use my software PowerX Optimizer to give me an early indication, because if you look at this, I mean, Tesla, let's just go back to this for a moment. As you can see, PowerX Optimizer already told us when December 16th that now Tesla could potentially break out into an explosive move. And sure enough, it did. As you can see, PowerX Optimizer has actually caught this up move here from $200 to $260. Smaller up move here. Then this move from $260 to $360. And then also this one. So let's take a look at BABA to see what we are getting here, what we see here right now. See, right now, that's what we are looking at right now. We're seeing black bars. Black bars mean that the market, or this particular stock, Alibaba, is right now in limbo. And this is why I like it better looking at it with the PowerX Optimizer, because if you look at it just from this perspective, you might say, oh yeah, it's about to break out. It's about to go up. You see, this is where I like to have a more objective view on the market, because again, trade what you see, not what you think. Hey, by the way, if thus far you find this helpful and you're enjoying this, click on like, and also do me a favor, subscribe to this channel, because this way you're automatically getting a notification whenever I'm going live or release another video. And currently I'm releasing 2 videos per week. So I just filmed the one that we are going to release on Friday, and the video on Friday will be about the most important questions you can ask yourself. Okay, so it's a really good video. There's lots of trading videos on my channel, but then every now and then I also have a few that is just for your life, sharing my perspective of how I came to the US with $30,000 in my pocket, and now I'm a multimillionaire. And I want to share you a little bit of what exactly I did and what I'm doing every day to maintain the status. And now I'm on my way to a net worth of $100 million. That is my next goal. Anyhow, so make sure that you subscribe to this channel. This way you get notified whenever I am releasing a new video. Okay, so here, Alibaba right now going sideways. So right now, I would not necessarily buy into this. By the way, this is also not how you use PowerX Optimizer in the very best way. We can talk about this in just a moment, but I want to answer a few more questions and then we can go back to the tool. And if you want, can show you of what's happening. Yeah, and what positions I'm looking at, what positions I'm in, so that you get the idea. Okay, so let's see. Nareen is asking, was Shop's 10%? Was it short covering? Let's see. What is Shop? Shopify. Okay. No, it's simple earnings. Right? So Shopify has an earnings jump. So it wasn't short covering. They reported earnings, so they're up 7.8%. And so Shopify, as you can see, earnings topped estimates on Wednesday, while the 22 revenue guidance came in. So that is the reason. Let's take a look at Shopify with PowerX Optimizer to give us an idea of what's happening here. Okay, so right now we had this jump here, but it seems that was a little bit just hanging in there. I mean, also Shopify making new all-time highs here now, above 500, having this one massive jump. You see, for me personally, what I like to do, I'm looking for consistent gains. So I'm not big on earnings plays, because earnings plays, they can go either way, right? I mean, markets can go jump up like they did with Shopify, or another one that reported earnings, I believe it was yesterday, is Lyft. So yesterday after the close, and as you can see, Lyft right now down 10% today, because they basically said we're still operating at a loss. Same as Uber, same as Airbnb. So, I mean, it's great to have all these. And you remember, what is it? WeWork, right? WeWork, the big IPO debacle that was ready to IPO, and then it turned out they're bankrupt, basically. So this is what we see with the most recent IPOs, the initial public offerings that we have here. And this is why you also see, wow, look at this. It started at $79, and now it's almost cut in half, right? I mean, it was cut almost in half here with $38. But this is what happened to Lyft, because they're still operating at a loss. So Uber, pretty much a similar story, right? I mean, opened up and then went all the way down. Right now bouncing back a little bit, but see, these IPOs, there was a time when they were almost guaranteed to make you money. These days, it's different. I would stay away from this. Also with Airbnb coming out, then we also talked about BYND, right? I mean, this was an IPO where everybody got crazy and then crash and burn right back to where they started. Anyhow, good question here. Good question. Okay. All right. So Mark Rossi, Ricardo from Switzerland would like to have more information about personal coaching. Wrote to Jeannie waiting for an answer. Mark will make sure that, Ricardo. It says Mark Rossi. Okay, Ricardo, we'll make sure that we're getting back to you. It's a great program. I mean, this is where I'm personally, together with my head coach, Mark Hodge, mentor you. And so we do this over the course of a year. And no matter where you are in terms of your knowledge, this is where we help you to get on track to achieve your goals. And with this program, the idea is that you have actually enough money, or that you're generating enough income through trading, that you can replace and exceed your current income within the next 3 years. So that's what we do there, just to give you an idea. All right. And I just see all these comments are popping up here, but these are not the comments that I'm answering. I probably need to highlight them somewhere here. I don't even know how to do this. Anyhow, so okay. So if you decide to join, can you do it with your English? We have people from all over the world in the program. We actually have somebody else from Switzerland, and I'm talking to him tomorrow morning. And we have somebody from Germany. I talked to him today. And yes, we can either talk in German or in English. Not a problem at all. Ken says 100 million. Sounds incredible. And yeah, you see, this is where, when I left IBM, and this was in 2002, my first goal was to make $1 million, because I knew as long as I'm employed, I'll never become a millionaire. That's what I realized, right? So this were my first goal, was to make $1 million. After I became a millionaire, you know what they say? The first million is always the most difficult one. And they're right. It took me quite a few years, I have to think. Probably 6-7 years to make my first million after I left IBM, after I became a trader, a full-time trader, basically. And then it was easy to make the second and the third, right? And so the 10 million net worth was fairly quick. I mean, it was only, I think, 3 years after I hit the first million. So this is where right now, yes, I'm on my way to the $100 million net worth. That's what I'm looking at. Okay, so let's see. I just want to see if I can somehow. Oh, so Oh, yeah, this is getting too big. Okay, never mind. I just wanted to see if I can easily put the question on there. Okay, so Pam says, I bought Walmart with the power alerts. Okay, good for you for jumping in there, but now I'm worried about earnings next week. Should I hold on or get out? So let's take a look at Walmart. So Walmart, here we go. Okay. Walmart right now is marching up nicely. What do you see with Walmart? Take a look at this. Whenever earnings are released, you see earnings were released on this day. Walmart didn't really surprise investors. Not a whole lot happened here. Earnings were reported on this day, not on this one here. So not a whole lot happened here. Earnings were reported here. Not a whole lot happened there. So, see, this is where I am not too concerned about it. However, if you are worried about earnings, sure, you can get out. I mean, right now you're probably sitting on a small profit or a small loss. So for me personally, especially since Walmart in general, doesn't seem, look at this, earnings right here, doesn't seem to react to earnings really heavily and strongly. Right here, see, it was already going down. This is why I personally am not too concerned about this. Okay, but great question. Great question. Okay, so Bill says he would love to receive a cup from Rockwell. By cup, do you mean a mug like this? Would you like this? All right, Bill, it's yours. Okay. Do me a favor, Bill. Send an email to nicole@rockwelltrading.com. Nicole@rockwelltrading.com with your address. Okay, Bill, only for you. Everybody else, no, only when I call you out and say that you got a mug. Okay, but send an email with your address to nicole@rockwelltrading.com, Bill, and we'll send you one. Sure, absolutely, no problem. Marina is asking about NVTA stock. NVTA, oh gosh, NVTA was a dream come true. So NVTA is a stock that came up on the PowerX Optimizer scanner here, and we actually traded it together with our mastermind. I told you while we were in Cancun, right? So with my private students, we spent a week together in Cancun, and we jumped in. And then NVTA just exploded. Now, PowerX Optimizer already identified this days before it exploded to the upside. So we got in on February 4th. And this is when we got out on February 6th, right? I mean, this is where, boom, that was fantastic. Textbook. Now, doesn't always happen, but you see, NVTA in the past has shown a very similar behavior here. So once it breaks to the downside, it went down. Once it breaks to the upside, it went up. This is one of the perfect stocks that I like to look at. This is a stock that I personally traded. And yeah, so right now, should you be jumping in right now, I think you might have already missed the move, right? No idea. I honestly don't even know what they're doing, because for me, stocks are just a symbol. That's all I'm looking at. By the way, if you're interested and would like to know more about this particular software that I use personally to find the best stocks to trade, that also my mastermind student use, and many of you probably already use. If you would like to know more about this, feel free to talk to Paul. So Paul is a student who was in your shoes pretty much a year and a half ago. And a year and a half ago, he said, you know what? I am going to invest in PowerX Optimizer, and I'm going to learn everything I can. A few months later, I think it was a month later, he joined the mastermind program, worked with us personally, and I'm super excited because 2 weeks ago, he gave notice to his employer and said, I'm done. So I am ready to retire. So he achieved his goal to retire from his daytime job in only a year and a half. What do you want me to say? I'm incredibly proud of Paul. So that's just fantastic. Anyhow, where was I? Okay, so that's what I wanted to say. If you're interested in learning more about the software, and again, the software is an investment. Usually the price is $5,000. I know that we are currently running a Valentine's special. And as a Valentine's special, right now, you can get the software for $2,000. So it's a steal. Trust me, it's worth every single penny. I invested more than $600,000 into having this software programmed. And that's what I personally use every day. If you're interested in learning more about this, go to rockwelltrading.com/demo. Let me just show this to you. rockwelltrading.com/demo. When you do, that is probably not what I should have entered. Rockwell Trading. What is the correct URL here? I probably mistyped it. I'm not good in spelling, especially when I'm talking to the camera. rockwelltrading.com. There we go, /demo. There we go. Okay, mistyped something. If you want to do it, you can schedule a demo with Paul, right? So he's the demo master, and he can show you how he's personally using the software, how he has been using it for the last 1.5 years, also pretty much every day to find the right stocks, and you can just schedule a demo. There's a quick questionnaire because we want to make sure that this is a good fit for you, and then you can talk to Paul about this. Anyhow, back to this here. Okay. There's a question: for what length of time am I permitted to use a trade simulator before I'm required to actually use money? I personally think that you should use a trade simulator for at least 40 trades, preferably 60 trades, so 40 to 60 trades. Anything less would mean that you don't have enough experience with different market conditions. I mean, we just talked about this. Let's go back to looking at what the markets are doing right now. So the Dow, see, if you are going for at least 40 trades, you will have had market conditions where the Dow is going up, down, where it is going up, right? So you experience this different volatility, a market that is going up, that is going down. And after 40 to 60 trades, I personally believe you're ready. If you're dragging it out too long, you might suffer from analysis paralysis. So that's what I do with my private coaching students that are in the mastermind. I ask them to go for 40 trades, maybe up to 60, depending on what I see after 40 trades, right? I mean, if after 40 trades, obviously, if you're not yet making money, you don't want to go live. You want to make sure that you're making money before you go live, right? But often 40 trades are pretty good. And sometimes I ask them, okay, go for a few more weeks, 60 trades, and then you're ready to go live. Great question. Okay. What's the program called? How much does it cost? What do you mean, Powerex Optimizer? TA? You already know Powerex Optimizer. TA, gosh, we have known each other now for what, a year? Or 3/4 of a year? 8-9 months? So you know Powerex Optimizer. Usually the price is $5,000 right now until the end of the week. We have a special where you can get it for, I think it's $1,997. Talk to Paul or contact the office. Let me see. There we go. If you have any questions, feel free to call or text the team. 512 here in the US. So +1 if you're international. 337-1885. Okay. Good. Coffee's asking, how about pivot trading skills? Could you please give some information? See, I'm not much of a pivot trader, and here's why. You have daily pivots, you have weekly pivots, you have monthly pivots, and if you all plot them on your chart, you have so many lines there. I mean, for me, it wasn't helpful. I personally like to use indicators. So indicators are objective. For me, it's easier to trade them, and this is why Powerex Optimizer is built on 3 indicators. You see them here: MACD, stochastics, and RSI. These are the indicators that I use. For me, this is easier to trade this way than pivot points. Not saying that pivot points are not a valid concept. I believe they had more value when we had floor traders, because floor traders paid attention to pivot points. Think back, floor traders, when we didn't have computers, all they saw was the ticker. right? They didn't have charts. I mean, floor traders didn't have charts. So in the palm of their hands, this is where they wrote down the pivot points. So this is why I believe back in the days they were more important than today. But again, I'm not a pivot point trader. I use technical indicators. Okay. Okay, Ken is asking a great question. Do you invest fundamentally, like going long SWKS in the 5G roll? No. Here's why I like SWKS. And I believe, did I go short? SWKS. I know that it recently came up. Yeah, it came up as a short here. You see, I don't even know what these guys are doing. It came up on the scanner as a possible short. It was a very quick move. So if you zoom in here, see it was a very quick move to the downside. But I'm not investing fundamentally at all. And you see 5G right now, it's the flavor of the year. Think about it. Right now, what is all this craziness about? 5G. What was it last year? What was last year the flavor of the year? Cannabis stocks, right? I mean, everybody said we need to go into cannabis stocks. Then we had what? The year before, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, right? Before this, we had, what was it? 3D printing. 3D printing of organs, 3D printing of whatever, right? 3D printing of houses, 3D printing of everything. So this is why I don't believe in fundamentals. And again, it's flavor of the year. Before this, we had biotech and all this kind of stuff. Okay, TA is asking about the personal coaching. Why don't you text the team real quick and they can give you some information. 512-337-1885. Just shoot them a text that say, hey, this TA, I would like to know more about personal coaching, and they can help you with this. They can give you more information. Okay? Good. All right, fantastic. All right, so yeah, Ricardo, there's Dion. So I just said Dion and I were going to talk tomorrow. Dion, when are we going to talk? At 7 o'clock your time? I believe. I have it on my calendar, so no worries. Okay, Kathy said NVT was awesome. Yes. Okay, Ricardo said you got the mug in Switzerland. Good. Perfect. I like it. It's always important. Trade what you see, not what you think. So Ken, regarding your question, you see, whenever I thought I had a good idea about a stock, it was never fundamentally. So this is why I trade what I see on the screen and not what I think. Okay, coffee time. And I see I have 7 minutes left. Let's see. NVTA. Yep. Okay. So Ken says NVTA went up $565 while I was having lunch with a lovely lady. Thank you, Powerex Optimizer. Exactly, because the way how I like to trade is the same way. Set it and forget it, right? Once you are in a trade, set a profit target, set a stop loss, and this way you can have lunch with a lovely lady, and you come back from lunch and you say, hey, there's the money deposited in my account. And again, if you would like to learn more about the software, let me just write it in here. It's Rockwell. Oops. Let me see if I can. There we go. rockwelltrading.com/demo, where you can talk to Paul. Only do it though if you're serious about this, right? So again, right now the investment would be $2,000. So don't expect that Paul says, oh yeah, you can have it for $200. I mean, it's a super powerful software. And you see, I mean, if you can make on just one trade $565 and you have the software for life, you can just see how much money you can potentially make with it. Okay, good question. Kathy said, Powerex Optimizer is great. Love it. TA, we took care of this. Okay, Don says, looking forward to meeting you next week in Houston. Would you consider doing a boot camp or a 3-day event in Canada? And Don, we are actually thinking about it. It's not that easy. Canada doesn't make it easy for American companies to just go there and conduct business. We need lots of permits, work permits, and all this kind of stuff. And we are very seriously looking into this, but not anytime soon, probably second half of the year. Because again, it's not us, it's you. No, I mean, it just, there are rules and regulations that are not that easy. Okay. Elect says, I would like to try the software. I wanted to know if there's a trial period. You know what, Elect? Why don't you set up a a call with Paul, right? Where it's usually 30 minutes, where Paul can show you what the software is all about, that you can make a more informed decision, whether this is something that you want to pursue or not. Here is one of the challenges that I have with trials. Usually, when you give somebody a trial, do they really read the manual, right? And here, watch the videos. I just want to show you. So in the members section, we do have 25 videos with the software. And you see, it's very important that you actually watch the videos. So welcome to the members area of Rockwell Trading. I am Markus. Okay, there's too much going on here. Let me remove this for a second. Okay, so there's 25 videos. And the challenge is, if you don't know how to use the software in the right way, you will not get any results. And based on my experience, somebody who is committing to the software, and there's a 30-day money back guarantee, so don't worry about this, right? I mean, if you get the software and you commit to it and you watch the videos and you find this is not for you, let us know and we'll refund you the money. That's not the deal, right? But I'm not for handing out trials. So this is why I say get a demo with Paul and see if this is something that might be a good fit for you. All right, good. All right. Okay, I'm 17 with no job, but have about 5K. Should I get into stock trading or buy long-term stocks? I mean, first of all, if you're 17, let me just go back to the charts here for a moment. If you're 17 and you already have $5,000, amazing. Good for you. I mean, wow. I really applaud you. I mean, how many 17-year-olds have $5,000? $5,000, in my opinion, is perfect to get started with options, right? Stocks, no. Long-term, no, definitely not. But I would look into swing trading options. Swing trading options means that you're holding it for anywhere between 5 and 20 days. That's what I personally like to do with stocks, and you can do it. And again, wonderful that you already have $5,000. That is fantastic. I think $5,000 is a good amount to get started. And this is why also in PowerX Optimizer, we do have options, right? So instead of trading the stock, you can very simply trade options. And PowerX Optimizer tells you exactly what options to buy with, let me make this a little bit bigger, right? What option to buy with how many days to expiration, when should it expires, the perfect strike price, and how much you should pay at a maximum. Okay. Good. TA, how long until Canada stocks will be available? 4 weeks? We were talking about weeks, TA. We're talking about weeks, not months. So that's the good news. We're talking about weeks. All right, guys. As I said, I have 1 minute and 30 seconds. I really enjoyed hanging out with you. I hope that you enjoyed it here as well. If you did, just hit like, because this way I see that you're liking it, and I might do more of this, because I think it's great that you're just asking questions. I answer them based on what I know about the markets, which is actually quite a lot, I want to say. And also make sure that you're subscribing to the channel. So right now, somewhere on this page should be a button that says subscribe, right? When you do and hit the notification bell, you automatically get a notification from YouTube whenever I go live or release a new video. And this might help us to stay in touch and do more sessions like this. If you enjoyed it, just let me know by liking it, by subscribing to the channel, and I might just do another one next week. Because now I'm taking off for Florida to a sailing regatta. I'll be there until Tuesday. So I'll be back here in my studio next Wednesday. And if you want, we can meet again. Same time, same place. What do you say? And maybe then I can show you more about how exactly I use the software to pick the best stocks and options. What do you think about this? Would that be good? Would you like to see this? What my thought process is when I'm looking at stocks? All right, let's do this. Fantastic. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll talk to you soon. Oh, yeah, and if you have any questions, call or text the office, 512-337-1885. The team is there, ready for you. Any other questions that you might have? Or jump on a demo with Paul, rockwelltrading.com/demo. No obligations, just go for it. All right, take care.